Hi everyone, my name's Bella. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a bit of a retrospective. I think I'll split it up into two parts. A retrospective on my 2024 Hobonichi Hon that I used as my EDC this year. So we'll be doing a little flip through and just, taking you through how I thought or my general thoughts on using this planner this year. So it was to get started and to give some context, this is my first time using the Hobonichi Hon, but I have used the Hobonichi Techo, the normal regular one, maybe about 5-6 years ago maybe. And that first time around it went really poorly. I basically did not write in it as much as I thought I would. My brain didn't really working in the dailies, working every single day to write stuff, only seeing the day and not being able to see my week or my month regularly, kind of, put me off the Hobonichi Hon. But for this year, I wanted to try again because I was doing my master's this year and I wanted a place to be able to put all my information and all the things that I was doing, since I'd be pretty busy during my master's year. So without further ado, I'll take you through my journal, or my planner, sorry. So I have a photo here of Silas. Silas is a love interest from the game Love in Deep Space. He's my favorite, or my top LI, which stands for love interest. It used to be Zane because Silas is the latest release, and he didn't exist when the game first came out, but he's my best boy, so there's a photo of him at the front. So here you can see my log. The log I've been using has been the same for the past 2-3 years, I'd say, and it kind of groups or categorizes my life into these, these keys. So I've got social, event, money and finance, personal, admin and school, food, and languages. I have one separately for languages because it's kind of, besides not putting it or bundling it with my personal, because languages is kind of like my main hobby or my favorite thing to do. So I thought it merited its own little key. The future log, don't really use the future log at all, so it's got nothing on it. I tried to use this as a health log, and I did do something with it for the first few months up until April or May, but it fell off really quickly. So in the beginning of the year, I had a lot of foot pain. It turns out it was plantar fasciitis, so I kind of wanted to track how often I had it, and I was having it pretty often. It's not as bad now, I think, because I've been exercising regularly and generally living a lot better for the past few months. I haven't really had plantar fasciitis. I've also bought shoes that were meant to help mitigate the pain of, the foot pain. So that's also really helped. But yeah, I didn't really do anything else with these. What is this called? Is this also called a future log? Future log? Yeah, I didn't really do anything with it. So now that we have our monthly pages, so I started off doing what the most memorable thing of the day was for me to write in the spread. But as the months progressed, or at least in the next month, it turned into more of a scheduler. So I would be writing, when I had classes, appointments, meetings, etc. in the monthly. And then I also started doing weekly to-dos, like a rolling to-do list of the most important things that I wanted to get done during that week. I'm putting it in the monthly spread. So each section is kind of for each week. I did it this way to start with, but I think I didn't end up doing that in the later months. But this has really worked for me, especially since I had a routine. You know, it's really easy with classes and stuff for me to stay on track and stay organized because I always had things to write down, which was really helpful. So I really did keep on top for the first few months of the year because I was starting my thesis then, so it was really ramping up in terms of the busyness. But you can see here, I barely did the weekly to-dos, so that was one of the big main things that kind of annoyed me about this planner. I'm very much a weekly kind of girl, so only being able to see a month or a daily view really skewed my idea of time, which was seeing time in a week in a weekly format. So I kind of ditched the weekly to-dos from April and just did, you know, a rolling things I wanted to get done in the month. Yeah, you can see I keep going with that. And it was working really well, like scheduling wise. Like I'd always be going to my months and being like, okay, I've got Dutch at 6 o'clock, like every single week. Like it's nice to see that on the monthly spread. But I definitely, not that I hated being in this planner, but I think next year I'm going back to my roots, which is weekly planning. Yeah, so in August I had finished my masters, so it kind of reverted back into things that I did, or the most notable thing I did that day. I mean, and then just kind of abandoning it altogether. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'll just get started on 2R daily. Yeah, I didn't even do anything for this, turning the page to a new year. Kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. I also think my phone is dying, so I'm gonna charge it. Sorry, we're back. So to start, I really wanted to be consistent and use this every single day. I know my main issue, the last time I used a hobonichi techo, was writing in it daily. So I really made an effort to try and, you know, get the most use and value, which is a bit toxic, I guess, but to get the most value as I could out of this planner, even if later on I would feel like it wasn't working for me. So yeah, so I was doing mostly on the left side where the times are of the day, definitely used for planning, like proper planning, and, you know, event management and whatever, and using the right as more of like notes of like thoughts during the day, and then the regular to-dos. So I've lived in Sydney most of my life, and I had not realized that we had a Travelers Company official partner shop, which really upset me because I'd love to have known that a lot earlier in my life, and I only found out this year. So I visited it, and it's a really, really beautiful store. I'm not sure if the lady that I spoke to was the owner, but she was really kind, and we talked a lot about Travelers Company as a company, and, you know, their values and stuff. So it was really nice. So yeah, I was using this quite a lot. So I was feeling good about it. You know, new year, new way to use your you know, new planner excitement. Especially for the to-dos. Yeah, we had my partner gave me a challenge called the Keep Desk Free from Clutter Challenge, where if I managed to keep my desk free of any type of clutter, because my desk is always cluttered with random stuff, he would get me a monitor. Because when I moved here from Australia, obviously I didn't bring any tech or anything with me, so I just have my laptop. And a monitor really helps me, especially since I was doing a master's degree. Just having the bigger screen really helps. Anyway, I managed to pass, so I got a new monitor, which is awesome. And I really enjoyed using these PET tape stickers. If they're from a PET tape, are they called stickers? I guess they're called stickers. From our studio. They're really cute. I think this one was, I think I wrote it down. The Wayfarer PET tape. Very pretty. I was also doing swatches in here, writing down recipes. Have a Japan planning thing here. The Japan trip did not happen. I was very bummed out. But I was very briefly excited for the very brief period that I thought we were going to end up going to Japan this year. I've been many times before, and I lived there briefly for a study abroad. So, you know, I love going to Japan, but, you know, it's okay. I can put it off for another time. I also just looked outside and it's pouring rain. Amsterdam in November is really sad. Yeah. So I was still writing a bunch of stuff. I think it was really working. I think I really appreciated the daily to-do lists. I was kind of used to doing rolling weekly to-dos, but I think it was nice having like things I want to get done today, like specifically today, which was great. I also started reading a lot of manhwa this year, and I was kind of documenting all the manhwa that I was reading as I was reading it. I have lots of notes about my thesis, which was a really good, I really liked my topic for my thesis. It was about provenance research and provenance documentation. So it was really interesting. I also was documenting the food that I ate. Yeah, I also occasionally wrote in Japanese. I've been studying Japanese since 2016 on and off. I have a diploma of languages in it, but since I don't obviously don't live in a Japanese speaking country, I don't really speak it as much or use it. And I really like to retain as much of it as I can. So when I remember to, I try to write things in Japanese. Yeah. I think coming up, there's going to be a lot of, I think I downloaded the game Love and Deep Space 1 week after it came out. And I became so obsessed really quickly. I'm kind of sad I did not play it from day one, but yeah, I think a lot of the pages coming up are just about Zane, which is my first love interest, my first love of the game. Not to say I don't love him now. I still try to collect all his cards and play him, or like play with him in the game, but Silas is definitely my boy. Yeah, I saw Gran Perez. I don't know if you know, but Gran Perez is a singer from Western Sydney, which is also the same area that I'm from. Like we're a few suburbs away from each other. Like we live in the same local government area, if you want to call it that. But seeing him in Amsterdam was trippy, since he's from my area. Like we're local, but I saw him in a different country, which was funny. Yeah, so I think I had initial reservations about using the hobonichi hon because of the dailies. 2 years ago, I'd used a hobonichi cousin, and I barely touched the dailies at all. But I really fell in love with the vertical layout for the weeks in the cousin, and I loved it so much that last year in 2023, I used the Jibun Techo, but the slim. So I think it's like not. Oh, sorry, there was lightning just now. It scared me. But it was it really works for me, like the vertical layout. So I really love being able to see it visually. Oh my gosh, it's thundering. I hope the mic can't pick that up, but that would be very scary if it can. Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention the Bossa Ball. I tried this. It's kind of a Dutch or like a special, like a food specialty from Den Bosch, which is kind of south of Amsterdam. Is it south? I don't actually remember where exactly it is on the map, but yeah, it was really good. It's kind of like a cream puff, but covered in dark chocolate. It was really good. And if you ever come to the Netherlands, I highly recommend finding the Bossa Ball and having it. Yeah, I also put stickers sometimes when I had nothing in. This is from Cheyenne's Patreon rewards from 2023. So when I moved from, sorry, this is funny. When I moved from Sydney to Amsterdam, I kind of set myself a limit for how much stationery I would bring with me. So I brought a few like washi tapes, my most important like pens, and highlighters and stuff. But obviously a lot of my stuff is still back at home. But I brought all of the Patreon rewards that I have with me because for Cheyenne Barton, I'm really a big fan of their work. And you can kind of see it everywhere on my person somehow, like on my water bottle or my water bottle, or like my books that I have stickers on, or on my laptop. You can really see her impact on my life. Yeah, it was also a good idea to just use this for recipes. The Vietnamese Americans, like the San Fran American garlic noodles. I discovered this because I follow Kenji Lopez on YouTube, and this is one of his most. It's not his recipe. It's from. I'm not from America, so I'm not sure of the name, but some Vietnamese restaurant from San Francisco kind of made this like Asian version of aglio olio, and I love this variation. I've had it so often when I don't know what to cook. It actually used to be when I didn't know what to eat for lunch, I would eat aglio olio because it only was like 4 ingredients. It was very easy to make. But now it's the American, like the Vietnamese American garlic noodles. Highly recommend. You can find the recipe on New York Times or on Kenji Lopez's YouTube channel, but it's very good. Yeah, I was using a lot of writing it down, a lot of recipes as well. Oh, this is, the pen that I used here was from the Zebra Sarasa. They released like a mixed color pen set. And this is the color that I like the most because I really like the blues into the purples. It's like a very girly pop bubblegum type. Yeah, I don't know what was happening in March for me to not really write down a lot of things here. Maybe I was just really busy, but it does pick up again. It was only a few days. But yeah, you can see I'm migrating so much stuff to the next day. I don't know why. Was I just not in the mood to work? Why productive at night? Yeah, good question. This is also my 1 year in Netherlands. Yeah, time flies so quick because now from filming this, I've been here for about 1 year and 3/4 maybe. Very exciting. I really like living here. It's very nice. It's a lot different from Australia though. So I've had to get used to a few things when I moved, like culture shock wise, and learning Dutch as well. Yeah, so I was writing. Dutch classes were kind of intense. It was really busy because it was intense courses packed into 8 weeks. So I would be doing a bunch of homework. We had classes twice a week, but it was like 5 hours total, which even my Japanese language classes were not that long. And for some reason, Dutch isn't really sinking in as easily, even though I'm technically a native speaker of English, and English and Dutch have quite a few similarities in terms of a lot of the vocabulary is the same, or like, similar. And it kind of, in terms of, relative similarity, English and Dutch are quite close to each other. So I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with Dutch. Yeah. So I had to book a flight because I wanted to come back home after I finished my master's to visit, but it's so I did not know when my thesis was going to end, so I kind of had to keep changing up flights for when I'd come back. I experienced my first King's Day in the Netherlands to celebrate the King, I guess, and everyone wears orange. It's very Dutch. It was a lot of fun, but there was a lot of just kids selling stuff that they didn't want anymore. So, what a vibe. I really liked this Zane card that came out. Silas was not out yet. Exclusive tutorial. I think it's one of the best cards to have come out to date. I think it's I don't play Genshin Impact, but for those in the audience who do, I think it's quite similar in terms of like the gacha system. I also started doodling. Okay, I don't think I started to. I think a few days I did doodle and I just never did it again. But I think at least this one was really nice. I also saw Double Dutch, who is a comedian on TikTok live. I've seen quite a few comedy shows this year, actually. I really like going to comedy shows. Love a good laugh. So yeah. I also did another one. This was kind of based off another sketch from Cheyenne Barton. I love spam, so I had to do a little spam sketch, a little spam drawing. There was also a period of time, I don't know why I wanted to remember it, but that period of time on TikTok where every single anime edit was to the $1 Million Baby song. They were really good edits. Yeah, I think this is kind of, this month and June were kind of the height or the peak periods of me doing my thesis. Everything was coming together. I did some swatches of some, I have no idea how to pronounce it, Carandash, I'm so sorry, I have no idea how to say it, and Faber-Castell and Derwent. I also realized when I look at all the pens that I buy, they're quite similar colors. So I need to, build out my color repertoire and go beyond, some light, like peachy pink purples. Yeah. Oh, I saw Mitski twice this year. So she performed over 2 days in Amsterdam at the Carré Theater. I went both nights. On the second night, I was, I think, fourth row. Thank God the whole concert was seated, because I can't do the standing thing anymore. I feel like I'm too old for that. But I was fourth from the front, so I could really see Mitsuki on the second night. And I was crying. I was crying a lot because she's one of my favorite artists. Yeah, I was really doing a lot of work on my thesis. Oh, we found out we're going to be moving. So the place where we were living in before was a student campus, like, housing, and it was like a proper student campus, which is fine for the vibes, you know. But I kind of grew tired of living on a student campus really quickly. I know it's just really noisy. Technically, I also still live in a student complex right now, like moving, but it's a lot more chill and much more quiet. I also went to the Dutch pen show for the first time. I went by myself, but I did meet some really lovely people, and I managed to get an invite to join the Netherlands Pen Club. So that's really nice. It was really nice meeting people with similar interests to me, and I was able to get some inks. These are just the ones that I swatched, but I ended up buying the Sydney Darling Harbour one by Robert Oster and a few other, I think it was like Shanghai inks. I did not have that big of a budget, so I think I only bought like 4 inks. I went to Belgium. I visited Brussels with my partner. He was there for work, so I was able to kind of freeload off his accommodation, so I only paid for the train to go to Brussels. And it was really nice. I didn't end up writing anything here, but I did write what I did in a traveler's notebook. It is yet to actually be compiled, but I plan to sometime in the future. I also think I started falling off because I was so knee deep in finishing my thesis, and I wasn't really writing much in here. But yeah, it's definitely super empty. I think this is also kind of the pitfall for me. I think at this point I realized I truly thrive in a weekly format, because seeing things only as a daily kind of gives me time blindness for other things. I'm not sure if time blindness is the right term to use, but I can't think beyond the day if I'm only seeing the day, which is not great. I also got a Le Creuset for my birthday from my partner and his parents. They all pitched in together for a Le Creuset for me, which is so sweet. I love Le Creuset, and if I had the kind of money that would let me buy Le Creuset everything, I would, but alas, I'm unemployed and I don't have that much money. So yeah, that's the end of June. I think I'll stop it here, and then I'll do one for I'll continue for my part 2. But yeah, thank you if you've reached this far, thank you, and I'll see you in the next part.